Hi, this is Dave T1963. It's early October 2019, and I'm going to give a real quick review of a not released yet Tethrd Phantom Saddle. This is going to be their new 2020 model. Last year, I liked Tethrd Mantis saddles so much as I've actually went out and purchased 5 of those saddles, and I've been using them the previous year exclusively. I did try some other products, but I mean, just about every sit that I had in the previous year was in the Mantis. But now that I've been field testing a couple prototypes, and I think this is the final generation that will be released in 2020 at the ATA, is the Phantom. This is going to be my go-to saddle. There is just so many neat features on this saddle. First of all, the way it's designed is in a football shape. Every other saddle has a flat waistband. Tethrd has now went out and made a football shaped saddle, and this does 2 things. One, for all those that comfort is their primary factor, this is going to cradle you more and provide support throughout the entire region instead of just straps. But even more importantly, this saddle totally eliminates any strap trying to creep up on your backside, and all saddles do that. Every saddle I've ever tried up until this point, and I've tried most of the models that are currently out there, this is the first one that doesn't have any kind of creep at all, and it's because of the design. Another innovative thing is they've got what they're calling a comfort loop, I think is what they're going to call it, and it's actually got little, I don't know what's in here, some kind of hard plastic or synthetic ball that's actually sewn into here to where the bridge can be adjusted for your position. Now, what advantage does that give you? A lot of us, you know, there's a lot of debate, are you a leaner or you're a sitter? And I kind of laugh at that because most of us do both throughout it, especially if you're in a 4 to 8 hour long sit. Most of us are going to alternate between sitting and leaning. This allows you to instantaneously adjust the drape of how you're hanging on that tree for if you're sitting or leaning. I didn't really think it would make that much of a difference, but I can tell you now, after having used it for a solid month of hunting so far, that this thing is phenomenal. In addition to that, something I told Greg over at Tethrd that I didn't think would ever work, they now have a replaceable Amstel bridge with a prusik system. Now, a lot of people are going to think that this is just simply tying a loop on here, a continuous loop with this thing, and then putting a prusik knot on this. But there's more to this than that. And I'm not going to talk about exactly how I think they pulled this off. But this thing, it doesn't flex like Amstel normally does. And look at this here attachment. It is not girth hitched on there. This is a true prusik system that can easily be, you loosen this up, pull this out, splice on another piece of rope, slide it through, and you're set. This is ingenious. I did not think Amstel would work in this manner, gripping on itself, but I can tell you, I tested the heck out of this thing, and it has not slipped not one single time. Even in wet weather, I have had this thing completely soaked in rain while I was hunting, and this thing does not budge. Okay, so that's another one of the great improvements. Another improvement that they made is these extended leg loops, and it's actually on this model has 1, 2, 3 different zones that you could actually strap in your leg hooks into this. They colored it orange. It's easy to see. This thing is so easy to get the leg loops in and out of. You know, one of my pet peeves on the Mantis was some of the loops were done so tight that it was hard to get these on and off. This thing, even with stealth stripping on this, just slides right on and off that. And yet, when it's tightened down, it doesn't come loose at all. So another phenomenal upgrade. I mean, I'm just excited with the different things they've done to this. Lineman loops, one of the big pet peeves I've always had with most commercial saddles is that they don't come out far enough to where you can easily clip into them. Well, Tethrd did 2 things with this. One, they extended it past the saddle, which I like, but they also made this a continuous part of the actual straps. So it's a very big loop that's easy. I mean, it is so easy to clip in and out of this if you're going around branches or whatever as you're climbing up the tree. This thing is easy to hit on either side. And the fact that it's attached to both the upper and lower, when you're actually hanging, you know, a lot of times I'm setting cameras even with my saddles and stuff, or I'm setting sticks or whatever. This puts the pressure completely on both sides instead of having like just your waist strap kind of as the pivot point for your entire lineman belt. The rest, you know, the buckles are still pretty, they're nice buckles and stuff. It's actually smaller in size than the old Mantis Large. And this thing, I know a lot of people wear their saddles in, which I'll talk about in a second, but if you pack this thing and put it in your pack, it packs up smaller than any saddle I've tried so far, commercially available. Well, there was something else I was going to say about with the packability and stuff. Oh, when you actually walk in, if you are one of those hunters that puts this on and hangs pouches from your belt or ropes or whatever, because this prusik system's like this, you can cinch this down tight around your waist, and that really helps. This saddle just does not droop when you're walking in. And then you can just tuck this either in the loop, which is what I do, or I'll tuck it into a cargo pocket. But anyway, I'm not going to give a real long, in-depth review. I'll probably make one once they release this. Greg's asked me not to say anything until after the ATA, so it'll come out sometime after Tethrd officially releases this. But I'm telling you, this is going to be my saddle. And I am no way affiliated with Tethrd at all. I buy their products because I believe in them. I've never met the Tethrd guys. I know Greg from the forums. We've done DIY stuff back and forth, talked to each other and stuff. Same with Ernie, Carl, and those guys. But I've been using their products for 2 years now, and I really was sold on the Mantis. I mean, I bought 5 of them, 2 mediums and 3 large, because I just liked them so much. And then they sent me the first generation of this, and I was like, wow. Then they made a few upgrades based on a lot of input from a lot of hunters, and they sent me this second generation. Actually, I think this is the 3rd generation I've had, 3 different models. When I got this one, I was like, holy crap, this is it. This is exactly the saddle I've been all those years of DIYing, what was it called? The sit drags, fleece saddles and all that. This was exactly what I was wanting. A compact, lightweight, very safe, mobile hunting system that's easy to get on, off. I can replace the bridge. I can adjust the bridge. This thing is phenomenal. So I'm excited to see how this does at the ATA show. I'm excited to see how this does overall. My guess is you're going to see a lot of other saddles, including some older Mantis saddles, hit the classifieds pretty quick once this is released. Because this right here is definitely, in my opinion, the best hunting saddle produced to date. That's my review. Dave T1963 out.